The purpose of Black History Month was created to focus on the contributions of African Americans to the United States. It honours all black people from all periods of US history, from the enslaved first brought over from Africa in the early 17th century to African Americans living in the United States today. So that's what it's about, but you know, I have my own personal opinion about it, and I'd like to share that. I've never shared this before. This may have been said somewhere else, but when it comes to Black History Month, I get the sentiment, I get the understanding that okay, we're here to celebrate Black history, we're here to give awareness to this thing, but I just think that if you're gonna call this important, why is it a month of the year? You know what I mean, right? It's like a month, but it's not like it's important all the way through. It's just 1 month to celebrate this thing, and then next month we're gonna be celebrating something completely different. And yeah, you can say that about like any like these monthly celebration things. Like they're just there for a month, and then it's like next month this is happening. So that means that this thing that's happened now won't matter, and then the next time it's just gonna repeat that. It's just gonna repeat that cycle, if you know what I mean. So you won't have much importance for it, and that's why I don't like it. I do think I do understand. Like I said, I understand the motivation of wanting to celebrate, Black history and things because it's very important. History is a very important thing. But when it's just reduced down to a month, though, that's the thing. It's like, now we're just like, you're just forgetting the importance, and you're gonna move on to something else the next month later. So yeah, I mean, there might be people that do still.
You are about to experience the James Ramblin' Show, hosted by James Batty.
Hello, welcome back to the James Ramblin' Show for yet another episode. And in today's episode, I'm going to talk about a few things. Talk about Valentine's Day, Black History Month, leap years, and things like that. Maybe I'll talk about how stuff to do with school, because I did mention last episode that I went back to school for a few days, but yesterday, as I'm recording this, is when I went back to school. So maybe I could talk about how that first proper day was, like getting my timetable and everything like that. So yeah, there's a few things we'll talk about. So I'm gonna start off with Valentine's Day, and then we'll dive into the other stuff. So Valentine's Day, it's coming up as this episode is coming out. It will be like a few days before, but it is that time of year when, as you get the chocolates and things and all of that, like, I'll search it up though, actually. Valentine's Day. So it is. Alright, I'll just Google what the point is. What is the point of Valentine's Day? Alright. It is an annual festival to celebrate romantic love, friendship, and admiration. Every year on 14th of February, people celebrate this day by sending messages of love and affection to partners, families, and friends. So it's not just like boyfriends, girlfriends, and things like that. That's kind of like the stereotypical thing you hear about it. It's just family, just sending love and appreciation and things like that. I don't really celebrate it though as a whole. Never really do that. I celebrate Christmas, or don't just do like I don't really not really big on Halloween, as you know, but and Easter and things. But I never celebrate Valentine's Day. It's usually anything else but Valentine's Day. And that's because, just never found a girlfriend. Oh, yeah. But yeah, you know. So yeah, I do. There's definitely that. Where I don't really celebrate Valentine's Day, but I know it's a thing and it's kind of like a big giant thing that goes on during this time of year. So the other thing I was going to talk about was Black History Month. So give you a bit of context here. Black History Month purpose. Let's see. So the purpose of Black History Month was created to focus on the contributions of African Americans to the United States. It honours all black people from all periods of US history, from the enslaved first brought over from Africa in the early 17th century to African Americans living in the United States today. So that's what it's about, but I have my own personal opinion about it, and I'd like to share that. I've never shared this before. This might have been said somewhere else, but when it comes to Black History Month, I get the sentiment, I get the understanding that okay, we're here to celebrate Black history, we're here to give awareness to this thing, but I just think that if you're gonna call this important, why is it a month of the year? You know what I mean, right? It's like a month, but it's not like it's important all the way through. It's just 1 month to celebrate this thing, and then next month we're gonna be celebrating something completely different. And yeah, you can say that about like any like these monthly celebration things. Like they're just there for a month, and then it's like next month this is happening. So that means that this thing that's happened now won't matter, and then the next time it's just gonna repeat that. It's just gonna repeat that cycle, if you know what I mean. So you won't have much importance for it, and that's why I don't like it. I do think I do like I said, I understand the motivation of wanting to celebrate Black history and things because it's very important. History is a very important thing. But when it's just reduced down to a month, though, that's the thing. It's like, now we're just like, you're just forgetting the importance, and you're gonna move on to something else the next month later. So yeah, I mean, there might be people that do still see the importance in Black history, which is fine. I mean, I do remember learning about all of that stuff at school in like year 11 when I did history, but it's just that there, right? I just wanted to get that out of the way. So yeah, there's Black History Month for you. And there is another like historical little thing about February and it's not to do with America though, because Black History Month is more so like kind of celebrated in America, but I feel like should be a global thing. Maybe it is a global thing. As you know, I'll search up if other countries actually celebrate it. Do other countries outside America have Black History Month? Maybe we could do that. Since 1976, every US president has officially designated the month of February as Black History Month. Other countries around the world, including Canada and the United Kingdom, also devote it to celebrating Black History. So America isn't the only country that celebrates Black History Month. But, like I said, it's just, I don't understand why it's only a month. I feel like it should just be celebrated more than a month, then it's more important things. So enough of that, right? We'll go back to Waitangi Day, which is this is the historical thing to New Zealand. Waitangi Day is I'm pretty sure there's a. What is the significance of Waitangi Day? There you go. Every year on February 6th, New Zealand marks the signing of the Treaty of Waitangi in 1840. In that year, The representatives of the British Crown and 500 Maori chiefs signed what is often considered to be to New Zealand's founding document. So that's like, it's supposed to be this treaty and, peace, because there was all these land wars that went on in those days, which I did learn about. So that went on, and those two events kind of connect, but that's to do with Maori sort of culture, and that's the other thing was Black History Month, which is like African American rights and slavery and things of that nature. And obviously, yes, slavery is bad. We all know that, but that was my point I wanted to make about Black History. That it's just like a month, not like, you know what I mean. So you get where I went with that. So okay, so there was Valentine's Day, Black History Month, Waitangi Day. What was there? There was leap years as another topic, and then I mentioned earlier in the episode about how I went back to school for my first proper day, got my timetable, so there was that. So leap years. This is the thing with leap years is like I was never born in February, so I have never had that thing of like there's the leap year. Every 4 years I have this certain age or whatever. There's that thing, like the age, there's some certain age for leap years, and then you have your normal. Okay, I might just Google this again, just so I'm not talking out of my ass, you know what I mean? So, I'm pretty sure I looked it up. Okay, what and why is it called leap year? Well, a common year is 52 weeks and 1 day long. That means if your birthday were to occur on Monday 1 year, the next year it should occur on a Tuesday. However, the addition of an extra day during a leap year means that your birthday now leaps over a day. So that's what that kind of means. It's like the birthday goes there. So if it's February 28th, and that's when the month ends, birthday's going to be on March. So maybe February 28th is like Wednesday, February 28th, and then March 1, Thursday. Something like that. So there's that. But never was born in February. I was born in March. So I can't really attest to being someone like, oh yeah, I was born on a leap year. But I am aware of it, and it is a very common thing. But, well, I say common, but it's every 4 years. So there's all of that. Now, of course, I will still do the Yakuza review. I might try and put that out on Sunday or something like that. So enough of that. Just spend a bit of time talking about school again, because that's a topic that is going to be coming up a lot, I suppose, now. Because, right, so yesterday, I went back to school, and it was the first day back, but I do want to mention that there's this weird thing that happened, right? Like, I don't know why I talked about a long time ago, I was in this school involved with a bunch of hood rats, but recently there was this weird event called the Battle of the Hoods. And I'm not joking when I say that, right? And that we got this email from the school about it, and there's this whole thing's like stab for stab. Oh, meet me at this place at 3 p.m. on Friday. Let's go at it, right? I obviously never attended the event because it's stupid and things like that. But it came up because to do with school, and it's just like, damn it, there's still people in this country who want to cause like gang fight. It's silly, man. It's crazy, but it just came to mind. It's like this whole thing about the Battle of the Hoods and people are getting injured, and it's crazy town. It's crazy town indeed. So there's that. But back to school. Back to school. So we had a whole school assembly, and I got my subjects, and man, the teachers are very different this year indeed, because every year my teachers are different. Like I had a different math teacher in like year 11 and year 12, and this year I have a different math teacher again. So I had like media, maths, accounting, and English. My media teacher is Mrs. Harker, And I should have chosen media a long time ago because obviously I like movies and things like that, and I make my podcast, so I should have done that because it's to do with editing videos and making productions and producing things. So I should have done that. But the teacher was interesting, and she said something about how she only likes the first Matrix movie, and the other two are irrelevant. Well, she should have said the third because they made Matrix Revolutions or whatever the heck that was. Never seen it, but they made that. So that was pretty interesting because I seen the Matrix, and the other two movies are terrible. Yeah, like I mean, there's some good action in the second one, but story wise and things like that, you just can't live up to that because it was before the whole the Matrix was an interesting concept, and then they just regurgitate it and you know what I mean, just continuing that. So yeah, so there was Mrs. Harker who said that, and it was interesting. I met her. Then there was Mr. Raman. That's his name. He's my maths teacher, maths and statistics. Yeah, he's a pretty interesting teacher, I suppose. He's this Indian guy, but it's my first time having him, and yeah. And one of my friends had him for calculus, and he didn't really like it. But that was Mr. Raman, and then an accounting. But I'm gonna try my hardest to sort of try and get away from that subject because accounting, man, not for me. I don't think it should be my subject now. So yeah, I did that, and it's kind of just the same as last year from what I just did there. And then there was English, and this one was good because I have the teacher I had in year 10, Mrs. Hendrickson, and that's good because I remember liking that teacher, So it's good to see her back again, and like just like with the maths teachers, I haven't had the same English teacher every single year because the first year I had English communications, and then I went to English general. I had Mrs. Struthers last year, and then Fire and A the year before that. So having Mrs. Hendrickson was good because just another change of pace and good to see her since year 10. I mean, I've seen her around school, but yeah. So hopefully this year of school will be good. We'll see where it leads because I'll probably have to do a bit more studying and trying a bit harder because this is the year where I have to graduate, you know what I mean, and do some community service. So I hope all of that goes well. Aside from that, though, there's not a lot to talk about other than that. And obviously, sorry if if I'm delaying episodes and making a weird look like a different kind of schedule, but I can't do anything about that because I don't really pre-record my podcast as much anymore because when I do it, it's just I don't like doing the same thing constantly, so I don't want to burn myself at pre-recording 5 episodes, you know what I mean? So I just need to kind of separate away, and I do play games a lot now, as it has been told. So we will do the Yakuza review. I'll bring that to you sometime soon, hopefully. And I'll hopefully be getting into the Judgement spin-offs, which is a spin-off series of the Yakuza games, and I might review those, but I have to get an Xbox Series X because that game is only on Xbox Series X and like PlayStation 5 and 4 and stuff. It's not on Xbox One that I'm currently playing on. And there's also Hogwarts Legacy, but I don't know if I'll get Hogwarts Legacy, so I think. But aside from that, there's not too much to talk about. So this is kind of another week where I'm scrambling to think of things to talk about. So I'll just give you something that's like kind of topical or something that's on my mind or something that's been on my radar recently or something like that, So yeah, but we will still do the podcast and things like that. So, yeah. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Stay tuned for more. Stay tuned for the Yakuza review. Maybe I'll review Ant-Man and Wasp: Quantumania because it is coming out soon. I think it's coming out on the 15th of February, right? Something like that. I can't remember. So hopefully, but yeah, not an episode there. Right. See you next week. Bye. Bye 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 bye. We're gonna see you next week for another episode. I'll let you know what it's about next week. So see you later, alligator. Bye 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 bye.